Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Benoff. Joining me this evening, an empty chair, as well as the returning Earl Nieto. Earl, it's been a minute. How are you? How's the family? How did you guys survive the holidays?
Yeah, so where do I start? The holidays, they went. We had Christmas here at the house. The family's good. I apologized last week. I think I texted you guys. I apologized. I did not know you guys were recording. For whatever reason, I didn't get notified on Facebook that you guys went live, and I didn't see it on Facebook that there was a post that we were going to record. So I'm like, guess we're not doing nothing. And then today was kind of in the shadows again, not 100% sure until I looked at Facebook and I was like, oh, I guess we are doing something today. I'll hop on. But other than that, it's been a few weeks for sure. Between work and Zadie and Maya and Christmas and everything else that's going on, it's been interesting.
Certainly sounds like it. Obviously, things change when you become a family man and you have kids to take care of, and so hopefully things are going well for you and Marlena. You guys are you're surviving. How is parenthood treating you so far?
Well, she hasn't killed me yet, so I think that's good. We've got the sleep schedule figured out to where we're now taking turns at nighttime, doing the best we can to figure it out, I think.
Well, just wait till the sleep regression happens.
I think we're in that stage already.
That's always a fun stage. I'm sure Jacob's dealt with it as well. And then, trying to work hard to get kids back on their proper sleeping schedules. It can be tough. And certainly trying.
Yeah, it's impossible. Just accept your fate. That it is what it is for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, 2:30 is my new best friend. 4 o'clock getting up just because I'm already awake at the time. So it's been some long days the past few weeks.
Yeah, Jacob and I obviously have both been there. Christina's been there as well, so we understand the trials and tribulations of rearing an infant. So our continued thoughts are.
Well, really, I want to be. I just want to be real here. The only reason I did show up is because I was hoping Christine would be here today. So we had a full house. Not that lucky, obviously.
Yeah, Christina kind of let us know a little bit ago that she wasn't going to make it, unfortunately. We had hopefully we're hoping to have some other plans for this evening as well. Did not pan out. I can tell you, we are working to get new head coach Dennis Sanchez on the show. Talking to David Weesey Carl today. We're going to give coach a couple weeks, get in and get settled, and hopefully get right on the edge, if not into preseason. But we will be getting him on the show in the next few weeks to month, give or take, so that we can have our first official sit down with him of the season, and hopefully we'll be able to get him throughout the season and do a little bit more with him than we were able to with Coach Quill. Earl, let's start with you. We'll get the runners update out of the way. Have you been paying attention to the runners? Have you been watching them at all?
It's been painful. That's to say the least. They had a few players get their first goals of the year, the past 2 matches that they've had, but they can't seem to break the 5 mark to save their life. I think this last match they lost 18-3, 15-3, something around there.
8-3 was the final. The Runners did not score until 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the third period. So rough outing. I believe it was 12-0 at that point. And
if you are interested, you can watch them on YouTube if you can't make it out to the Rio Rancho Event Center. Just search Mexico Runners and it's there.
Yeah, they do stream all of the MASL 2 matches either on their YouTube channel or on their official club website. It's been a rough season. I thought things were kind of looking up through the third match, but this past weekend against San Diego Sockers too. Sockers, if you don't know enough about, if you don't know who the Sockers are, the Sockers are actually a well-run organization. They're pretty competitive at every level that they play at. So not surprising to see them come in and play as well as they did on Sunday. But of course, it is disappointing to see the Runners still in the hunt for their first win of the season, 0-4 on the year. They head back out on the road this weekend when they go face Wichita. And that will be a 4:05 p.m. Saturday kickoff against the Wichita Wings. So that again will be streamed through the Runners website at 4:05 if you want to watch that. So moving on and hopefully into better news, Jacob, we got an announcement this week from the club. A bit of a slow week, I think we can all admit. Not a whole lot going on. We did get a one player announcement, and I know this is one that you've been particularly excited about. We got a Wordle clue a couple days ago. We were able to figure it out within 3 guesses. I don't know if anyone else attempted it. I know I did. 4. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. I like clues like that. It's nice to see the club doing that again. We talked about it a while back about how the club used to give hints and things and try to get engagement off of that. So it's good to see it.
I'm not gonna brag, but I did get it in one try. The very next day.
Yes, because you saw, yeah.
Harry, how you doing? Harry, Justin, and Josh over in the chat. Glad to see you guys. From cold San Antonio. I don't know. How cold is it in San Antonio? I'm curious.
Probably as cold as it is up here.
Yeah. I got the Wordle in 3. No idea who it ended up being. Yeah, I had the guess of Tomas within 3. I had a very good. My first thought in guessing and looking and doing some research was Tomas Angel, who played for Phoenix Rising last year. Now, I thought it would have been a good guess. There was some discussion about whether or not it might be him, having just signed with San Diego FC. There's always a possibility he could have come out on loan. But we got
it wasn't discussion. It was disagreement. Call it what it was. I said, no, I don't think it's going to be him.
Well, I mean, there was discussion amongst us and then over on social media as well as
that's true
who it might be. Yeah. So, but we got the announcement.
Us. Who's us?
Us.
Jacob and I.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. because the group chat's been kind of dead like the past month.
A little bit.
I'm talking to myself.
I don't know. I did bring up wrestling. I brought up wrestling a couple weeks ago, and I got one answer, and that was it. So
I responded back, and then whenever I gave my response of it was the best Raw since it was me, Austin, that was the last thing you guys ever said. I was like, oh, I fucking pissed them off. Okay.
That was a long time ago. There've been better Raws since then.
You guys feel like there's better Raws.
Yeah.
I don't watch wrestling, so I contributed nothing to that conversation from the get-go.
Yeah,
anyways, Tomas.
Yes, Tomas Pondeca. Jacob, this is one that you were particularly excited about. And I know I've been looking into him. You've been looking into him as well. What can you tell us about Tomas and what he brings to United?
Yeah, so that was the disagreement in the chat. Was that I was looking up one. Tomas Angel didn't seem like a team player. Kind of bad body language most of the year. Wasn't very productive. I was not wanting him, and so I dug a little deeper. Thought it's not a very common first name. Maybe there's something else there. And Tomas Pondeca is a name that popped up, and I looked into it. He played for North Texas, which no connection there, but it's obviously where Quill used to coach. And I looked it up. He was pretty productive, played a lot of minutes, got the game-winning assist in the MLS Next Pro Championship. Everybody that I saw had interactions with him had said that he was a stand-up guy. So before the announcement came, I was really hoping that I was right and that it was him. And then, of course, the announcement comes, it's him. And I just think he ticks all the boxes. He played, like, if you go look at his transfer market, I know transfer market is transfer market. I'm not calling it like the Bible or anything, but if you go look at it, it's crazy the amount of positions that they have that he has played. And then if you look into what he played at North Texas, he was kind of all over the place, which I think is something that when you're looking at the USL, it's important to have that versatility, especially with injuries and as long as the season as it is and everything like that. And so he checked that box. He checked the championship pedigree. He checked the coming from a lower league. So that to me signifies that he's kind of hungry for more and wants to keep improving. He's fairly young. And so, yeah, I just thought it was a fantastic hire for the locker room and what we need. And so, yeah, I reached out, didn't get any clarification, of course, until the moment that they announced it on social media, but then had some conversations and seems like the club's excited for him and I'm excited for him. So yeah, can't wait to see what he brings. And so far we'll get to the rest of the roster build and everything that's happened so far this offseason. But so far from where we're sitting, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
Quick note to Harry's comment about it being cold in San Antonio. Harry, it is not 9 degrees like it is in Pennsylvania. So I don't think San Antonio qualifies as cold.
No, that it can qualify as cold. Stop gatekeeping coldness, Seth.
I do no such gatekeeping. It was
You just did. You just did.
You talk about Pondeca and what he brings to the club. Now, obviously, we've lost a handful of midfielders over the offseason as well as last year due to injury or retirement. Where do you see him slotting in? I mean, is this that Bees Nava replacement, the guy who can generate out of the midfield, or is he, is he a deep line playmaker? Is he someone that's going to go, where do you see him? What role do you see him in?
I think he's definitely more attacking than Micheletto, Josu, Bailey type. I actually think he's probably going to be more on the wing, kind of take those Flanagan minutes, possibly Dayon minutes when Fernando can't go. And so I see Fernando and him kind of taking over at both wing slots, and then maybe Kale slipping to the inside, or that's the thing. You can, as far as I can tell, both of the players that we've signed so far this year, the new guys, can kind of play everywhere. And so they can play out on the wing. They can slip into a 10, false 9 role. They could probably even drop back. Like Micheletto last year, we thought was for sure going to be up top as a 10, kind of a playmaker. And then he ended up falling back even more into that kind of pivot role at the 8 or the 6. And so I think these guys can do a little bit of everything as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Fernando up top some, and then Pondeca can play on either side. He's mainly stuck to the right side, according to what I've seen so far. And so that kind of fits in with what Flanagan was doing. And so, yeah, I think he's going to play everywhere. We won't see him in just one spot. And we'll probably see him in multiple positions in a single match, would be my guess.
Earl, given what we know so far about the returning midfield, we know that Marlon Vargas is back. We know that we have a handful of other players now with the signing of Pondeca. How are you feeling about the midfield compared to where it was last season? Do we need to unmute you?
I can't. It won't let me.
Earl chose to mute himself.
Okay, then. I'll answer the question, Seth. Okay. Or you can answer. Yeah, I want you to answer it, Seth.
Sure. I think this is a really good signing. I was high on Vargas last year. Him coming in, I thought that he would definitely help provide a little bit of depth, a little bit more energy, a bit more drive coming out of more of a central role, which I think was a great thing for the club. I think we definitely needed that last year. And then looking at who we have now and bringing in Pondeca, I think this is a really dangerous midfield. I think this gives us more opportunities to try to spread the ball a little bit. And I think we can see it gives us more opportunities to create a varied attack instead of, relying so heavily on one side or the other. One thing we really lacked was that central presence. We know about Sergio and his injury issues last year. We know that, without Christian Nava, without Chris Wehan, with Micheletto not necessarily being that driving factor that we saw from 2 years ago, I think this gives us a really good chance to be a lot stronger through the midfield. I don't know how strong he is defensively. I would like to see him a little bit more. I may see if I can go back and find a couple matches of MLS Next Pro somewhere just to see. But I do like this. I do like the way that our midfield is shaping up. I do think this is going to be Pondeca, especially, is going to be someone that can distribute the ball once you get to that 18-yard area.
Yeah, so you mentioned the midfield there. So we lose a handful of players. We lose Swartz, he retires. Nava didn't play for us last year, but he ends up retiring. We touched on that a little bit last week. Rivas is gone, Flanagan is gone, Reyes is gone, Nico is gone. And then, of course, returning, we have Marco, Zico. We're not sure about Hosu yet. Sounds like he's gone, but no official word. But returning, we have Marco, Zico, Dayon, and then Marlon Vargas coming back, and then now the addition of Tomas Pondeca. And so it's not done by any means, I don't think. I think we're still going to add a handful of names there. But you look at what you have there already. Zico, defensive nuisance, playing that 6 a little farther back, can push forward when he needs to, does a little bit of everything. Marco does just about everything you could ask. He's not as good defensively as Zico and Hosu were, but he can still play back there. He can get forward. We've seen him shoot from outside the box. We know that he is a very, very quality player. Dayon, we know he's going to take a little while to come back. We'll see how long he takes, how he looks. But we know when he's healthy and going, he's probably one of our most impactful players. Vargas didn't get a lot of run, but I'm excited to have him back. I'm excited for an off season with the club to see what he can do. Obviously, he impressed a few people, the right people, in order to come back, and we impressed him. I think he could have gone a lot of places, and he seemingly chose to come back here. And then you add Tomas, who can do a little bit of everything. Plus, you have Fernando, who can kind of play up and down, up top or in the midfield. Same with Akale and Bruce. And then from the back line moving up, you have Seymour, Dubois, who can both of them can kind of come up and down. Abdi, obviously, is pretty present in the attack from those fullback positions. And so that midfield is just shaping up real nicely. And I'm not sure at this point, I don't think I like it better than last year's for 2 reasons. One, the depth obviously isn't there yet, but I think that'll come. And 2, man, Hosu is a huge loss if he does not come back. And so hopefully we're still working on something there to get him back somehow, because I think if he ends up coming back, then with the additions that we've made, I'm super happy with it, and I'd have it up there with where we were last year for sure.
Yeah, Hosu obviously being reported by John Morrissey as having left the club. Again, no official word from the club or Nanan Hosu or any other club for that matter. So his future is still up in the air. And I do agree with you. I do hope that the club is still trying to figure out some sort of a contract for him, if they haven't done so already. Now, the rumor is that he will be going to an Eastern Conference club, but until it's decided, things are still up in the air. Earl, seems like you might be back. Maybe.
I might be back. I don't know. Jacob, you're on mute, by the way. You're on mute. Yeah.
Was he ever really here?
I don't know. Is it that old adage? If an Earl doesn't speak on the podcast, was he there?
Was he ever there? Did it really happen?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Harry,
don't
I
know
said
what
cold,
happened. My
freezing.
computer decided to glitch out and say, "Nope, okay, we're not happening."
Okay, then. I said cold, not freezing, especially sitting through 2 high school soccer games in the low 50s with wind and rain. Harry, I maybe that classifies as chilly. I don't know. But
Nah, man. When you're from San Antonio, that's cold.
yeah, no, that is cold.
Like Alaskans would be in swim trunks
that is true.
in that situation, but San Antonians, is that right, Harry? Is that what you call yourself? Or Californians, or most of Texas for that matter? That's cold. I'll give you it, Harry. I'll fight for you.
There we go.
I'll fight for the 3-time Team Jacob president.
I will say, waking up the other morning and it being a grand total of 22 degrees, was quite chilly. I will say that.
Have you looked ahead to the weather yet?
I did. It's supposed to get to like 53 and then bottom back out 2 days later.
It was 4 degrees this morning. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna come down with a massive head cold next week. So that's gonna be fun. But Earl, as we were saying, how are you feeling regarding the midfield and the changes that we've seen so far in the roster?
I came in at the tail end of it, but I feel like there's still someone very important to our success last season that hasn't been signed, and that was Josu. I'm kind of surprised he wasn't part of the first announcements, but I mean, overall, the off season is still kind of young, I guess. Granted, we only have a month left until preseason starts, but I mean, there's still plenty of time to sign more people and get more players in and do what we need to. I mean, I'm comfortable with where the midfield is at, but I would definitely love to have more depth, and definitely would love to have Josu back.
Yeah, Josu's a guy that was vital to us, and I don't know if you'd heard, Earl, but we've been hearing rumors that he's going to an Eastern Conference team and is not coming back, but none of that is official. So we will hold our breath and wait anxiously as we try to figure out what's going on there. But until I see a Facebook post from Tampa Bay or Lou City saying he's coming over there, then I'm holding out hope that our source is wrong. And so hopefully that happens. But yeah, that him or somebody like him needs to come in for sure.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
There's also a good rumor that Carlos Vela is now unhoused due to California and all the stuff going on over there. So he might be looking for a new house somewhere warm.
So don't go to San Antonio is what I'm hearing. Because it's
don't go to San Antonio.
It's cold in San Antonio.
Yeah, the odds of Carlos Vela coming here, I don't know. I put it at like 0 to like 2%, maybe at best. So
is there a chance? Is there a negative? I feel like it's a negative chance.
Potentially.
I feel like there's more of a chance that New Mexico United becomes part of California as opposed to him coming here. But it'd be fun.
Yeah, that it would be. In other New Mexico United news, we did get another a coaching change. Matt Watson and Nate Walzer have both moved on. I've not seen anything about their next stops unless I just missed it today.
I think Watson is going to follow Quill.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. I had seen that, but I hadn't dug into it enough to double check. But yeah, and I'm not sure about Nate. But man, Watson, I loved Watson last year, and so that's a bummer. But we were kind of lucky with Quill. He kept pretty much everybody and just added Watson to the fray. And so now I think we'll kind of see. I wouldn't be surprised if Luke stays as the first assistant, with the institutional knowledge that he has and the connections he has in that locker room. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, it's always sad to see that happen. And I believe I saw another. I thought I saw somebody else leave, but I'll let you guys chat while I look that up.
Yeah, I just hadn't seen anything. I have a busy day at work today, so I hadn't really had a chance to look into it too much. But I mean, if Matt's going to Dallas, I mean, all congratulations to him. It's a big step up. And Nate Walzer, director of goalkeepers and assistant coach. It'll be interesting to see where he lands. Maybe he ends up going. I don't know where he's going to go. David, I don't know if you know, but it'd be interesting. If Harry closes the refrigerator door, that should help with it being cold in San Antonio. That's perfect. But I agree. I think Luke stays. I don't think we see a change there. I definitely don't think we see a change with David and the academy. So I think the core of the coaching staff is going to stay, which I think is going to help with continuity as well as continue to build the program. I think that's a huge deal. Matt is going to Dallas, according to David. Nate's location not yet announced. Okay, very cool. Thank you, David. Earl, I mean, we haven't really talked to you in a few weeks, at least on air. Looking at the off season so far, you mentioned a few minutes ago that it's still young. I mean, the off season's almost done. Let's be honest, off season's almost done. Roster's starting to shape up. We've only had one new signing, really. Two. I take that back. 2 new signings. What are your thoughts so far? Just on the off season in general, and what you want to see here in these final few weeks.
I mean, the off season is exactly what I expected it to be. I expected a lot of the core players that we had last year to come back, which is what we've seen. We've seen pretty much all of our defensive line come back, our back line come back. We've seen both of our keepers come back. We've seen a good chunk of our midfield and all of our attackers +1. Actually, I think +2. Shit, I might be wrong on this one.
We've added 2.
Ooh, that's what I thought. It was 1 or 2. So we've added a couple core pieces that we needed help with last season. I mean, we saw Hursty and Brucey do it all last season. Eventually, we saw Talon step up and play striker once or twice. We saw Kalen do it a couple times. So we were definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel when it came to any kind of attacking player willing to take a shot at the goal. So seeing the 4 attackers this season will be really nice because it gives us flexibility to rotate in and out and get rest. At the end of the season, I mean, we had Hursty who was injured the last match, so it was down to Brucey who was also tired because he's played about every freaking second of the year, give or take a couple matches. But I mean, ultimately, I think the offseason played out perfect for us because a lot of the team that we had last season came back. We haven't really had any big names leave. I think the biggest name we've had leave is Sergio at this point.
I would argue with that just slightly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's the biggest name we've had leave. I might be wrong.
I think Reyes is the biggest name. Sorry. No, but seriously,
opinions are like assholes. It's all right.
Swartz is the biggest one for me.
I guess
he's
Harry.
off injured, so to me, it's not like last year we were not a club that depended on 1 or 2 guys. It was success was based on the collective, and collectively with Swartz, Rivas, Flanagan, Reyes, Hernandez, those 5 for me are the one, like, losing all 5 of those adds up to a pretty good player. I'm not going to
So I
say
take
that
that
any
back.
of them are
So
like solid, but
I take my statement back. I think Flanagan leaving is probably the biggest name leaving. But I mean, even at that, at the end of the season, he was more of a super sub coming on and not really a starting position player. So I mean, the off season, yeah, we lost a couple players. We lost a few names off of that list, but we've replaced them with people that can definitely fill that role. I mean, I can see Fernando taking over that Flanagan role, where he comes in and he just does what he needs to, steps up into the day on spot as well, filling in for there too. I mean, yeah, some of these weeks have been very slow. David, if you could step it up, that'd be really, really great. Just kidding, David. But I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, we get what we get, and I still look forward to these new player signings, and I'm hoping these next few weeks. I mean, Harry, you're not wrong. Losing Quill was probably the biggest loss of the season, but it's almost expected at this point. When you succeed in the USL, you take the step up to go to where you need to be. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Is I'm gonna hop off the soapbox and say that the off season is shaped up exactly where I expected it to be, at least.
With this signing of Pondeca, how much of that do you think might be Quill being like, "Hey, sorry guys, here's a parting gift"?
I don't think it's much of that. I think it's Quill wanting to play nice. I mean, he helped New Mexico do what he needs to. David, I would love to see some of the signings you would make. I really would. It'd probably be a whole bunch of Arsenal nonsense, but that's fine. But I think Pondeca coming is not really Quill saying, "Hey, my bad. Here's this," but it's more of a, "Hey, I realize you guys need help. I understand you guys need help. I want you guys to take something big. We're right there. Here's some help."
I think you'll be curious to David's comment here. Be happy I'm not the one making the signings. I would love to see if I know it's probably highly impossible to ever happen. I would love to see just a front office as a whole come together and and sign somebody. Like throw names into a hat or spin a roulette wheel, something, and then sign somebody based off of front office suggestions. I think that'd be interesting. Earl, I will say there was some speculation last week as to your whereabouts. Some people were questioning as to whether or not you were training for the open tryouts over the weekend. Well, I think I'm pretty certain that you did not. Since we have David in the chat, David, how soon do we get to see a trialist score a goal? Any word on any preseason matches yet? And Earl, what was your experience like? Puking your guts out at training.
Well, you see, I did not even attempt to train to go try out because you see, I'm a 31-year-old old man who is the master of T1 dial-up internet. There's a lot younger people and a lot better people. You must have been fucking drunk because it wasn't me. Yeah, so I didn't even entertain the thought just because with my luck, I pull a hammy or I break a leg or fall on my face and break my neck. And I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but we work for free, so there's no workman's comp. So I decided to play it safe and take my ball somewhere else.
Well, that's a shame. It wasn't. It's always interesting to see what the club puts out from from open tryouts. Obviously, we know that players in the past, Josh Goss, Philip Beigel, have come from open tryouts. We
Daniel
have
Bruce.
Daniel Bruce. Yeah, we've seen guys come in as trialists and make the club. So there's always a possibility that we see someone come out of this from this past weekend to join the club. David Scrawl preseason schedule coming soon. All right, can't wait. I cannot wait to see trialists scoring goal after goal. And trialists making great plays, and trialists getting a red card for punching a El Paso player in the face.
No. It's redacted.
Redacted.
Redacted. Making plays.
Either way, redacted trialist, unknown player on the pitch. Who knows? I know that I can't wait to see that soon. I mean, obviously, again, preseason coming up about a couple weeks. Some clubs have already are already announcing matches. I believe Phoenix has announced a couple. I believe some others have as well. Jacob, has there been anything that's popped up on your radar in terms of preseason? I know I wasn't going to, but he disappeared. So
yeah, I didn't. No, I've seen a few. I haven't really paid close attention. If it's not our preseason, I don't really care. And so, I've seen a couple, but nothing's really like stood out to me.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I've been trying to pay attention to it. It's interesting to see. It's interesting to get an idea of where the clubs are going and what they're gonna, who they're facing off against to try to get into that preseason shape. I had texted the other day to ask when our guys are coming back into camp, because obviously they'll be reporting back before too long. I would expect them to be back within the next week or two, potentially, and start working on conditioning for those, especially those that did leave town and came back. Like I know Brucey tends to take some time off and go see his family and things like that. So, it's at that point. We've passed the halfway point of the off season. We're now in there's a term that I've been seeing at work called called glide mode. Basically, we've hit the apex and now we're easing our way into it. Glide mode.
Okay.
Yeah. You hit the apex, right? And then you're just gliding down into the beginning of the season. So, we passed that point. There is no going back to last season. Oh, we have special guest host Maggie wearing the black and yellow. There you go. That's the way, Maggie. Hi.
Merged out too, huh?
There we go. Perfect. Hoping he stays in there and cooks the whole time to give us some time. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I don't know. There really wasn't a whole lot of news this week. Jacob, is there anything that you want to talk about specifically?
No, I mean, we've got 17 players rostered right now. So we talked about the midfield. We've kind of talked about the backline and the forwards, but hey, they're saying hi. Say hi. There you go. We got Hurst, Bruce, and Akale returning up top, and then we added Fernando. To me, it's Hurst and Bruce as like the forwards, and then everybody else is kind of in the midfield. So Akale, Fernando, Micheletto, Harris, Vargas, Pondeca. They're all kind of in like the same mold there, being able to play up top on the wings as a 10, false 9, whatever you want to do. So we talked about the midfield. Back line, as Earl was saying earlier, Maples and Herbert are coming back. Ryden's coming back. Seymour's coming back. Abdi's coming back. Dubois is coming back. And so pretty much everybody back there is coming back. Obviously, Turi with the injury, we don't know exactly what's going on there. And then we really didn't lose anybody else from back there. The unknown back there is Chris Gloucester, who as we all know, I hated on a little bit especially earlier in the season. But he
Not you. You don't do that.
I know, never. But he did come around. He did come around really nicely. Where are you going? You going down? There you go. He did come around really nicely, and I do hope he comes back. But that is another. Him and Hosu are the only two really besides Turi. And Turi, I doubt we find anything out because of the injury. So it's just those two that we haven't heard anything on, right? So those are the two names that I kind of look at and go, okay. Hopefully we can get both of them back. If we get both of them back, I'm feeling really, really, really good. The losses, we mentioned them earlier, but Swartz and Nava retiring, Rivas, who we found out was dealing with some hernias at the end of the season, had surgery for that, seems to be recovering nicely. Flanagan, Reyes, Danladi, who didn't do anything anyways, and then Vargas and Nikki. And so it's all in all, I think our retention has been good. We've added 2 new names, Fernando and as David said, Turi has a long road to recovery still.
Yeah, with the time frame of his injury, my best guess is June, July at best.
Yeah, probably longer than that still.
Oh,
he injured it in November. Yeah, essentially, and so.
Yeah, I just figure you figure a typical ACL is about 9 to 10 months, but given the nature of his injury, the fact that he just destroyed his knee, I mean, yeah, that's what June, July best case scenario, but even then, like, we wouldn't see him, until September, October, maybe, my guess, by the time he's even ready, and that's best case scenario. Just knowing what I know about ACLs.
Yeah, and so. All in all, questions have been answered for the most part. We got 2 glaring ones, and then inevitably we're going to get, we've replaced 2 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 that have left for sure. So we still have new players that are going to be announced for sure. I imagine some of those deals are already done. They're just waiting on full approvals to be put out, and they're probably holding them back to build up some suspense. But I think that we're in a good spot so far. And then obviously the elephant in the room, I saw Harry mention it when I was on the phone. I don't know if you guys brought it up or not, but the biggest loss is going to be Quill. And I think the club did a fantastic job of going out and finding somebody that fits the ethos, fits the system, fits everything that we kind of want in a coach, and comes in with Dennis Sanchez, and I'm super excited about that as well. So all in all, small little recap. Feel like we're doing really good. I'm expecting a few more names. Justin says he feels like we lose at least 2 more, which would he be Gloucester and Hosu, because everybody else has already been announced. So unless we could possibly see somebody leave, kind of like a Tulsa moment last year. Obviously, Quill didn't leave late in the season, but maybe some people don't want to work for Sanchez or something like that and want out. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think people love it here, and I think we'll be all right. And so I think everybody that's been announced will stay. We'll wait on Gloucester and Osu, and then we'll wait on some new names to see what happens.
Yep. Yeah. Again, very little time left. I mean, obviously there's still plenty of time for names to be named, but very little time before preseason. And yeah, I agree. The club I want to say they took their time and made a quality coaching sign. We didn't. It's not something they rushed into. They took their time. Obviously, and we've talked about it. The club more than likely had a little bit of lead time, knowing that Quill was going to go, so they could start that search earlier, at least get a short list together. So, they were doing their due diligence for some time, without making overt strides towards that. So, but I think Sanchez is going to be a quality hire. I can't wait for us to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to him. Look more at what he brings to the club, how what he wants to do fits in with who we have, and who we have fits in with what he wants to do. Because that's gonna be a big component of it there. Like you can sign the best coach in the world, but if David Moyes doesn't have the players to do what he wants to do, then it's not going to work. There's only so much that you can do.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if you watched the presser, but he mentions in there, coaches being able to change to fit who's around them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think we're going to have any issues with that. And I think he obviously, we play him 3 times last year. He obviously scouted us pretty good. We had some success, especially here in the lab. And so he knows this team. He knows a lot of those returning players. And I imagine he's going to have some ideas of where to put them that they can succeed, where not to put them so they don't fail. And so I'm not worried about that at all. One thing I want to ask, I'm going to just spring this on you. We didn't really talk about it beforehand, but I'm just curious if you have any thoughts. Is there anything outside of New Mexico United with the league as a whole that has caught your eye? Whether it's player movement, coaching hires. I think everybody has their coach now, except for maybe Miami. I don't know if I've seen a Miami announcement or not. To be honest, I don't pay attention to Miami because it's Miami. But
there was a Miami announcement. I don't know if you saw this.
I don't know.
There was
You're making me nervous.
There was an announcement for the Miami FC in regards to the NPSL.
What? No.
Yeah. I didn't look. I saw it pop up my feed. I didn't look into it. But I think what's happening is they're putting a club into NPSL. I could be wrong, but I was like, wait, what? I saw that pop up. Yeah. So, it was a very strange thing. It was a very strange thing because a lot of people took it as though they were leaving USL Championship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's very weird, but yeah, I do agree. I think most clubs have their coaches. I mean, player movement's been there. I know Lou City just made a big signing. I saw Lawrence White went back to Tampa Bay, which, I mean, good for them. I mean, I would love to see Lawrence White come out here. I think he's a really good player.
Oh, no. I can't stand that guy. He is the most punchable face of all the Phoenix players last year. Was Lawrence White.
I think he's talented. I really do. I mean,
talent does not matter to me. It's if you're likable and a good locker room presence. And I don't think anybody from that Phoenix club would have come in here and been a good locker room presence, in my opinion. And so, and especially him, I'm also looking at it from my interactions with him over 2 games here at the lab, where he plays the back line. And when they're attacking that north side, I'm right there by the goalie. And so I saw how he interacted with his own peer or his own teammates, and how he interacted with us. And no. But he did go back to Tampa, which
he did.
Good for him. I don't have to see him anymore.
Yeah, I think Andrew's right. Yeah, there was something about them. Maybe it was UPSL, but I saw it, and then I kind of oh, okay, not a big deal. It's Miami, so I didn't concern myself with it too much. It was just odd because it did stir up some conversation, thinking that Miami was leaving the USL, which would have been really interesting. But yeah, no, I mean there's still some names out there. There's some guys that played a lot of minutes last year. If you go look at John Morrissey's tracker, there's a lot of names out there. You look around at some of the free agents. Ben Mines is available. Guenzati is available. Asayadu is available. Bourgeois. There's a lot of guys out there still available that haven't signed on, which is somewhat surprising. To see some of the names that are still available, but again, there's time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think the biggest name out there that I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with is Cal Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard once he left Tampa that he was wanting to go overseas somewhere, but it's been over a month since he was announced that he was leaving, and he has yet to sign anywhere. And so maybe he thought his maybe his market overseas has kind of dried up and he ends up coming back, but we'll see.
Speaking of overseas, Las Vegas just sent somebody overseas. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. And then Wilson from Lou City, Wilson Harris, who was probably the best forward in the league, and as far as just can do a little bit of everything. He left and went to the first. I think he went to the top league in Israel, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. I've seen it. There was a couple different moves that I'm not sure. I can't. That might have been the one from Vegas. I don't know. Yeah. No, I think that was the guy.
That was Kuwait. The Vegas was Kuwaiti.
Oh, was it Kuwait? Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Harris went to the Israeli league.
Yeah. Corey Bennett went to Al Nasser SC in the Kuwaiti Premier League.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, plenty of movement. I will say though that from 2019 until now, from the off season after the first season, which was so that going into the 2020 season versus now going into the 2025 season, I have seen way less player movement in the league as a whole. And I think that's speaking to the quality of the league and the quality of the players that we have and the fact that teams want to retain them, the contracts, being those 1-and-1s and being able to bring somebody back. And so I think that is huge for the league as far as how things are going. You want the book? Is that what you're saying? Book? Yeah. Okay. There you go. Can I have this now? Okay. And so because of that, we're that Premier League team or that transfer market list that Morrissey has, it used to have like half of the all league team on it. And now you're seeing less and less and less. And so I think that's exciting. And so we'll see what happens. But no, that was all I had. Got nothing else. Just like you said, it's a pretty slow week, but we get one player announcement. We had a press conference that I was excited by. I liked what I heard there. And now we wait for more.
Yep, that we do.
Can you say bye?
Bye.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. Earl's internet apparently crapped out on him, so Earl will not be here to close out the show.
I think it's ironic as heck that he used to give me crap about living in the middle of nowhere, and then he moved somewhere that apparently doesn't know what internet is, and so yeah, it's ironic.
Yeah,
ironic.
That is.
That's where we're at, man.
Yeah. One last thing, just quickly, if you do not have your tickets and you're interested in going to the Kings of Chaos world premiere on Friday, go and get your tickets. The link is over in the chat, eventbrite.com, over at the historic Lobo Theater, New Mexico United's own documentary, produced, edited, and directed by New Mexico United. So go check that out. Chance to ask questions of a panel after the match or after the viewing. I was going to go to this, but I have to be in Phoenix on Friday. And I will not get back until after start time. So, which is disappointing. I was looking forward to that. So, I did ask.
I apologize. I apologize that you have to go to Phoenix. That doesn't sound good.
No,
at least it's not July.
That is true. I would not want to go to Phoenix in July. I did ask Jacob for some ideas since friend of the show, Owen, likes to post and talk shit about Albuquerque. I asked for suggestions of places to take pictures of in Phoenix that I could do the same for Owen while I'm out there. So if you think of anything, please tag us over on Facebook or Twitter or Blue Sky or wherever. Give us your suggestions of where to take pictures. Get your tickets to see Kings of Chaos this Friday. Other than that, I don't have anything. Jacob, you want to get us out of here? Oh, okay. Yeah. No worries. Stadium updates, Josh, soon, hopefully. We will be keeping tabs with David VC Carl, as well as Ron Patel and Peter Trevisani. I cannot wait for the first round of Pete leaks this year. Hopefully we get some information.
I was
on the
waiting
stadium.
for one at the presser.
Mhm.
We didn't really get a good one, but I was hoping for one.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Pete for the first time this season. Just having to chat with him one-on-one. David, you're not hearing any of this. And we'll try to get Pete on the show. We'll try to get Ron on the show. We're definitely going to get Coach Sanchez on the show here in a few weeks. So as soon as we have dates and times for all of that, we'll let you guys know. But I'm excited. Best place to go in Phoenix is away from Phoenix. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I have to. It's a day trip. I'm flying out Friday morning, flying back Friday night. But
Is it for work?
Yeah, it's for work.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, fly in, drive out to Chandler, and then fly back. So,
It sounds miserable as well.
yep.
Cool.
Shouldn't be too
Well,
bad.
I can get us out of here now. So,
Yep. Let's do it.
David, Andrew, Josh, Justin. I don't think I saw Jane over there at all today, but hope she's doing good. I know Christian messaged me earlier, said he wasn't going to be able to hop on. He's in Korea. That's where he lives, so it's a little bit of a difference. But thank all of you guys for being in the chat. Harry, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot Harry. Harry, love you. Hopefully you're staying warm in that 55-degree weather.
20 degrees warmer than here.
But no, thank you guys so much. Even on a slow news week, we still managed to get almost to the hour mark. We'll see what happens between now and next Tuesday. If we've got player news or
Sorry, quick, Justin, I saw that. Are you okay? Like I saw your post. Are you good?
Yeah.
Like just to make sure you're okay. Like
he seemed to be in upset spirits, but good as far as health wise, it seemed. But I'd love to hear from you there. I'll finish up the thing. We'll check back on him, and then we'll go from there. But no, thank you guys so much for being on here, being a part of it, participating. Sore, yeah. I don't know. It looked like whoever hit you was going pretty fast. I got rear-ended one time. I was at a standstill, and she hit me doing about 60. And yeah, that was rough. So I feel for you. I'll pray for you, bud, and hope that you can heal up nicely, and insurance will cover the vehicle damage. And yeah, that magnet stuck on through thick and thin, man. Just like United does for everybody. Yeah, dang. Was it on the freeway or on a side street? I couldn't tell. But
yeah, someone wrote into me over on like Gibson or Central several years ago. Yeah, about 45, 50. Yeah.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But no, thanks for Earl for doing a very southern. Okay, still basically a highway. Thanks for Earl popping on with a brief cameo and having his patented internet problems that I wouldn't expect anything less of from Earl at this point in time. We'll see what happens this week. We'll see if we get big enough news to come on and do a full show. We might pop on for half an hour or so if there's not a whole lot to talk about, but looking forward to that. Hope Media Day is coming up soon. Black and Yellow Bash right around the corner. Preseason right around the corner. We'll get new names. It's the funnest time of the year as far as the silly season is concerned, I think. So again, thank you everybody. Justin, hope you heal up nice. Hope you're feeling better pretty soon. And everybody else, man, somos nidos, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Or a week, sorry.